Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Summer Dreamathon 2022. After that great run of Spyro Year of the Dragon by Derek Lander, we are following that up with Chameleon Twist 100% US by Cyanide Gunner, and we have Amahumahaba here to provide some extra co-commentary.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Okay, so this is a fairly short run, but we can still have some fun. I want to thank Amahumahaba before we start for doing commentary. It's sort of last minute, so yeah.
Absolutely.
Are we good to count down?
Yep, whenever you're ready.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you. So this is Chameleon Twist. If you've never played this game before, I highly recommend it. It's a semi-obscure platformer for the N64. And the main goal of 100% is to collect all of these crowns. You'll notice I've got 3 already. There is 141 total in the game. And there are reasons why we run US rather than JP, like it's a separate category, and I'll point those out as we get to them. But until then, yeah, this is just Chameleon Twist. Picked bread, there's no real difference between the chameleons other than like visuals. Like none of them are faster. Bread's just my favourite. But yeah.
Yeah, so
Fred tends to be that's fine. Fred tends to be the community favourite, I think. Like,
yeah, Fred is definitely the most ran chameleon.
yeah. So this is Jungle Land, this is stage 1. And in it, any percent we actually skip half of this stage by going backwards through a door. But this is 100% so we don't get that luxury.
Yeah, it's a pretty massive skip, so it would be convenient. It's this one right here that just closed.
Yeah, you clip backwards through that door and it saves like 50 seconds, something like that.
Brings you right to the boss.
Yeah, and it's the only boss warp in the game. We've got no idea where the other ones are. Like, why there isn't any others is what I meant to say there. This next room sucks. There's these spiders. And you've got to break all the webs, nests, eggs, whatever they are. And it's just annoying to avoid the spiders, but made it through with relative ease. This next room also sucks. This is probably my least favourite room in the game, in the stage even. But, yeah, just because it's very easy to miss that first crown there.
Yeah, there's a lot of lost runs to that, just like falling on that first spin.
Yeah. So in this room, there's a pretty difficult trick after this section, and it might take me a couple of attempts, but hopefully it doesn't. I really hope I get it first try because it looks cool.
There we go.
Sweet. Yeah, that spin is a lot harder than it looks.
It's probably the hardest thing in this whole level.
Yeah, I'd say that. Okay. And now we enter the boss. This is Lizard Kong. And he is king of the lizards for some reason, even though he's a big gorilla. And we just push him off the edge like this.
There we go.
And that's the first stage done. So next up we have my least favourite stage. Yeah, my least favourite stage in the run. Mainly just because of the boss, and that is Antland. Now, you're going to see me do something in Antland, which I will explain in the next stage, but just trust me, it's faster eventually. I will say the best thing... Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. This is an interesting stage because a lot of the platforming and tricks in the stage itself aren't remarkably difficult, but you do have to finish the stage off with probably the hardest boss fight in the game and some RNG moments.
Definitely. On the bright side, the Antland theme is the best song in the game. Like, this music is
really
so good.
is. And the enemies are really cool.
Yeah. As a stage, it's like fine, It's just the boss takes so long that it's just... Ah! I knew I was going to miss that jump.
Corner jumps are always fun.
Yeah. These rooms suck. They spin, and they can stop up to 2 times and change direction, and it's just RNG whether or not they do. They also spin for an RNG amount of time, so you just gotta pray to get good RNG. There's no way to skip them, there's no way to change the RNG. It's just a slow room.
That might also be potentially the most RNG time loss available in any levels.
Possibly, yeah. Some of the Kids Land stuff could lose you some time, but that's because it's cycle based. We'll get to that. I'm actually going to do Bomb Land next. I'm going to be a coward. So this is what I was mentioning earlier. You're going to see me do something in this room that seems counterintuitive, but trust me, there's a reason later. And we're going to save here. And that's because this next room is very difficult. You've just got to hold B and spin. No. That will save time in future levels.
It is important to note, the save is specifically required.
Yeah. Also, this flame boost
because
saves a
it's
second.
important that it's the same file.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a sweet boost.
Okay, this could take a few attempts. This door clip sucks. Come on, go through the door. There we go.
There we go. Door clips are a little rough.
Yeah. So we actually skip this stage in any percent. Not do any glitches or anything. You've only just got to complete 4 of the stages in the game. It's stage 1, stage 2 or 3, stage 4 or 5, and then stage 6. So you've only got to complete 4 stages in 8%. As opposed to 6 in 100%. Yeah. I always have a bit less trouble with that vault because I've got a setup for it. The other one's a bit trickier. See, got pretty bad. Like, it rotated like 3 times, but it didn't rotate for very long, so that was kind of middling RNG. But we're coming up on the end of Ant-Land. This room is fun. Gonna follow ants. I'm actually gonna go for the cool time save in the next room. It only saves like half a second, if that. But if we go back to the flame... Oh, I nearly fell. If we go back to the flame boost that was used earlier, that saved a second, we do something similar in the next room. Ah!
Oh.
Tried to cut the corner. That was my fault.
It's pretty tough to platform around these.
Yeah.
You have a very small area to walk on these ledges.
That's fine. I'll lose the time, I don't mind. I didn't expect Ant-Man to go well. It's a tricky stage. Okay, so just gonna hold directly down and jump into that flame.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And it saves like 0.3 seconds. It's really not worth doing, but it looks cool. And yeah, we're entering the boss. And this boss sucks. I'm actually in the middle of rerouting this boss to save 3 seconds in another stage. But this is Quintella. And she is probably the hardest and slowest boss in the game.
It's typically responsible for, you know, it can be 30, 40 seconds lost
Yeah.
with very little error.
It's very easy to lose time in this fight. So these ants that are moving, they always like, as they hit a wall, they always like angle themselves towards the chameleon.
That was close.
I don't know how I did that. I spun over the ant.
That was a nice save.
Yeah.
So the rough part about this fight, if you accidentally grab too many ants,
Yeah.
You have to wait for more ants to spawn,
And that
and
takes
that's
like,
quite a large time loss.
it takes a good 6 seconds, something like that, to wait for more ants to spawn. Got one, nice. Ah. That's okay.
Just don't die.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So we're out of Antland. We're going to go to Bombland. I'm about to do this trick known as actor storage, and it's a bit hard to explain in detail. So essentially, what I'm going to do is, using the save file that I just made in Antland, I'm going to grab a couple of ants in that stage, in that file, come back into this level, and spit out some crowns, which you're not supposed to be able to do. The actual reasoning is like a lot more in depth, but I don't have time to explain it. So we're going to save in this next room. Load up. Grab some ants. Load back up. And then we'll be back in this room. And then you'll notice as we go through the door, the head of the chameleon expands. We just jump. And now we spit out the crowns that are in this room. We do that at what? 5 times, 6 times in a run? And it can save up to a minute in total. Like, if everything goes well. Or they're not doing it. And it's the reason I run this category. We do it once more in this stage. Now we forgot the crown. In here. And funnily enough, this particular storage gave the community a lot of trouble for a long time. And then I came along, like over a year ago at this point, and found out the way to do it. Like, I've been running the game like a month and a half, and I've just found this. And it's because you've got to bring in the actors from a different room, as opposed to the room beforehand. And you spit out the 2 crowns in here. And that's probably, other than the one that we do in a different stage, which is actually really difficult to save time with. Like, that's probably the biggest time save in the run through storage.
And my basic understanding of it is that every object in a room has an actor number.
Yeah.
And the ants that you bring with you from the storage trick are... The chameleon basically needs to have those items as projectiles.
Yeah.
And so when you load into a room, it just fills you up with those exact numbers in the new room.
And then it allows you to spit out whatever in that room, whatever's in that room. Also, that room's orange room. We just got first try orange room. That room sucks. Worst
yeah, that could
orange
be
room.
1, 2, or 3. So
Yeah, worst orange room is like 5 seconds. But we're almost at the end of Bombland. And honestly, that was a pretty good Bombland. I'll pick up.
yeah. And now we have Bomb Snake.
Yeah, this fight is very difficult on the Japanese version. Because on the Japanese version, you can kill this snake in one shot. But you've got to be fast. It takes a minimum of 3 on the US version. So we lose a little time over the Japanese version here, but it's fine. Yeah, so we are 3 stages down. We're going to go to Desert Castle next, which is stage 4. It actually has a lot of cool movement. But it's also very easy to make mistakes, so let's see.
It's a remarkably precise level that looks a lot easier than it is in terms of actual
Yeah.
gameplay.
It's also the longest level in the game. That's fine. As long as I make the cycle, I'm okay. So there's a platform coming up that's on a global cycle. And essentially that just means as soon as we enter the stage, that platform is moving. And we want to catch as early of a cycle as possible. Because missing a cycle in this stage loses 15 seconds per cycle. And we caught it.
And we're good.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to make that cycle, but if you miss it, it's catastrophic. This next section coming up is pretty difficult. So, I'm actually going to ask for silence until I either do it or mess it up. Ah, messed it up. Oh well. Yes, there's a pole you can grab around that ledge, and you can spin to this platform here with the crown on it. And if you catch it, you save 10 seconds. But it's very difficult. That vault is also a lot trickier than it looks. This is still a really good desert castle so far. Look. You actually can't move on these slides. Like, you're locked into place. Which sucks, because there are 2 crowns on this slide. One of them is... here. It's okay.
The second one can be pretty rough.
Yeah, that should be fine. If you miss a crown on this slide, you've got to like grab the poles and death walk back up, and it's very slow, so it's just easier to not miss the crowns. There's a cool trick coming up soon as well that I hope I get because it looks really cool. There are some spikes that I'm just going to walk across. Okay, we missed the cycle.
This is a very close to pixel perfect lineup. If it's not pixel perfect.
Ah, I missed the...
Ooh.
That's okay.
I actually didn't know you could vault through that gap.
Okay, now we're a bit in trouble. Losing a little time here. A lot more than I'd like to. That should be fine. So you can just walk along the side of these spikes. If you do it first try without all of those mistakes, it saves like 4 seconds. Oh. Didn't vault first.
Yeah, so you actually have to lick the spikes in order to make them retract so you can walk
Yeah.
across it, or else they'll deal just like a normal enemy hit damage to you.
Yeah. But there are certain spikes that you can just walk along the side of. It is quite tricky, it's like a direct left, but... I'm gonna go for a new movement here, just to see if I can. I missed the crown, that's okay. Honestly, that was still... Despite the stuff that happened before the spikes, that was still a pretty good desert castle.
Yeah, even with like the visible time loss that we know, this is still a very competitive ghost castle.
Yeah.
Or sorry, desert castle.
So, we walk off the ledge for that to put us forward by 3 seconds. It's the only front moving death warp in the game. And it saves like 3 seconds. And you just walk off the step. This crown can be a bit annoying. We're fine. But we're coming up to the end of Desert Castle here. And we'll be going into the hardest stage in the game next. And most people's either least favourite or favourite. Mainly just because of the difficulty. But we'll finish up with Desert Castle first. Oh, yeah, these sand crabs are a pain. But it's not too much of a cost. You can actually kill these big orange trumpet things by spitting and animate them, which I did not learn until about 7 months into running the game, and I've been playing this game since I was a kid.
Me.
Yeah. Okay, so we're in the
So
boss.
this is a pretty cool boss fight. This is one of my favorites.
This boss fight's fun. Hopefully it
You're
goes
gonna see
well.
at the beginning of this,
Yeah.
it's gonna look like he just sticks his tongue out for nothing, but when the armadillo hits the ground, it actually puts out 5
Yeah,
enemies,
5, yeah.
and so now he has 5
Ah, I missed one.
projectiles.
And I missed another one. That's fine. I'll just wait for him to spit out more. The optimal fight... Never let him spawn more. But it's very easy to mess up. Ah. Okay. Well. Okay. I'm going to do another storage in the next stage. And if everything goes well, it's going to look really cool. If everything goes wrong, it should still look okay. This is the hardest stage in the game.
This whole stage operates on a global timer,
Yeah.
so it's a very stressful stage.
And missing a cycle costs you 20 seconds per cycle. It also just has some of the worst platforming in this game. Ah, that might have just cost me the fast cycle, but we'll see. Like, it really is that precise. So those chocolate platforms there are on a global cycle. There's 4 rooms that use global cycles, and they get progressively harder as we get throughout the stage. This also has one of the coolest boss fights if it goes well. So, this vault is a little tricky, but if you vault at the right time, you can damage boost off that and come up. It's fine. This next room is my least favorite room in the game, just because it's very easy to mess up and fall.
Yeah, it's such a strange perspective that you have in this room. It doesn't look super hard when you're watching it, but
Yeah.
angles on that are very hard to point out.
Since I'm not catching the cycle anyway, I'm going to take the safety strat here, just because it's a lot easier. You can actually jump into that crown near that platform and save a couple of seconds, but it's... if you miss it, you lose like 7-8 seconds, and it's just not worth it if you can't make the cycle. Anyway. These rooms are RNG. You'll see there's a plastic, like a see-through box. You just gotta land on that one, then sprint to the next one, sprint to the next one. The pattern is RNG. And technically the RNG is manipulatable, but it is very slow, so it's just better to deal with the RNG. That was very close.
That's also a very weird piece of platforming where
Yeah.
the camera makes it look like the wafers are in places they're not actually in. It's kind of awkward to actually pull off.
This stage also contains the hardest door clip in the game. And for many years, people just didn't think it was possible. And then the community just found a way by repeatedly throwing the chameleons at the wall and hoping. That vault's been giving me a lot of trouble. So I'm really glad I got that first try.
Yeah, so the height of your vault jumps in this game are determined based on when you jump out of the vault.
Yeah.
So, you know, right before you jump, you might be at the same height on both of the instances of a jump, but it's just like what frame you press A on, basically.
So this is another RNG room, and we're going to try and skip it by clipping through the door. This is the hardest door clip in the game, so it might take me a bit, but we should be fine. I wasn't all the way in. I was wondering why that looked weird.
Ooh. Still quick lineup.
No, come on. Come on, Fred. Go through the door. There we go.
There we go.
That's a lot trickier than it looks, and it doesn't look easy. I'm also going to go for a cool spin here. Ah, missed it. You can grab that
Honestly,
pole
that
from around the
door
corner. Yeah,
Was probably faster than like the average attempt at it.
yeah, that
It's
door
very
clip
difficult.
is not easy. Big shout outs to the community, Twitch community for finding that door clip and making me hate Kids Land even more. Nah, I actually really like this game. It's a really fun game, and I genuinely urge you to check it out. The community is very welcoming.
Yeah, everyone's super happy to teach tricks, and
Yeah,
it's really easy to get into the game,
Yeah.
but there's a lot to master.
yeah, definitely. I don't actually know what site I'm on, so I'm just gonna wing it.
This jump is also a pretty tough one.
I missed glass wall. Oh well. You can clip into that glass wall. I think this is actually a glass wall cycle.
Oh wow.
Just very early. No, it can't be. No. It might be. Guess we'll find out. Ah, missed the spin. So this is the last room of Kids Land before the boss. And it's also the last one in the global cycle. That platform there takes 20 seconds-ish to go back and forwards. And we want to catch it in a fast cycle. So missing it loses upwards of 20 seconds. Okay. I'm going to hope I get a good fight here and then explain afterwards. No pause. So you can pause upon entry and skip this cutscene to save 10 seconds-ish.
But it basically requires you to press start 2 times in 3 frames, and it has to be very specific frames.
Yeah. So we're going to go into training room for a second. And what this lets us do is fight that boss during the cutscene. No idea why, but if I get this right, this will look really cool. Easy. So
nice.
That fight is meant to take like 50 seconds, 60 seconds. But with that strat, you can just grab all the chocolate kids with one or two tongues and save so much time. Okay. This is the last stage of the game. It also houses probably the most infamously difficult part of the game, and that's billiards. But hopefully it'll go well. But we're getting up to like pretty much the end of the run.
This part does require a lot of precision. These shots, if they're not perfect, like
the N64 doesn't handle
so much.
N64 doesn't handle like round objects very well, and we essentially have to shoot. That looks okay. 1. 2. 3. Played it a little safe, but messing that up can cost upwards of like 3 minutes. It's very easy to lose time though, just because the snooker balls don't want to cooperate. They just avoid the pockets. But yeah, we're also about to see our last instance of storage, and then it's final boss. Like, this is the final stage. There's not much of the game left. And honestly, like, there's been a few minor mistakes, but this has been a pretty decent run. I'm pretty happy with this, especially for a marathon.
That crown grab is really cool.
Yeah. So this next room through here is the library room. We just have to wait for the library to spin, you know, as libraries do.
It feels like an eternity in the middle of a run.
It really does. It's only about 10 seconds. We got up here. There's a jump you can do, and it's going to be very cool if I get it, and okay if I don't. But it's very tricky. Missed it. You can land back on that platform, and it's very difficult, and it saves like 2 or 3 seconds. And there's no consistent way to do it, you just gotta jump and hope.
As far as I've known, is it just you and Quill that have pulled that off?
Running a week found it as well.
Oh, nice.
So like, out of all the people who run this game, like a few, like 3 or 4 people have pulled it off. The next storage is in the next room. Like, not this one, the next one. And that's the last storage in the game. After that, it's just regular gameplay. Except for the final room, but that's a surprise. We'll save that. I hope I get a first try though, because that looks really cool. This is actually the most specific storage. You've got to grab a specific amount of things. And that seemed perfect. So this should go well. Yeah, so overall, if a run goes perfectly, storage saves like a minute while they're doing not storage stuff. And it's just easier in most places. So you'll see these candles spitting fire. We'll just spit 1, 2, and then because of storage we can just do this and spit the rest out and get the crown here. And that saves like 4 or 5 seconds. This next room is RNG. You've got to shoot a mirror, and it's RNG to which one you've got to shoot. You've got good RNG. These rooms suck, especially on the US version. These rooms are much faster on the Japanese version because the flames spawn faster. That's
Also, the
true.
platforms are semi-RNG based with
Yeah.
a certain area that they have to spawn.
They've got like a range of spawns, and the candle hitboxes are very janky.
Yes.
So this room just
Sorry.
this room just is very slow and very difficult to do fast.
Yeah. And there's a couple of platform spawns that are actually pretty difficult to
Yeah.
clear.
Especially in the second version of this room, which is the next room. There's a lot of platform jumps that are straight up pretty much impossible if you get bad luck. So, coming up to the end of the run, there's only like, what, 3 rooms left before the final boss? Something like that?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Ah. This next room is another mirror RNG room, but this time with 4. And there's no way to tell, you just gotta hope you get good RNG. Second try is pretty good.
Nice.
This next room is so dumb, but it looks good if it's done well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Basically, if you're standing too close to these, they will continue to shoot fire, and it's very difficult to kill them while they're doing that. Because the fire that
was
they're shooting out will
flawless.
just block your shots. That was actually perfect.
Okay, so this is the final room of the game. And it's probably got the hardest trick in the game, and it's Cuss Vault. And we're going to vault off this pole, like that. First try. Beautiful.
Perfect.
And clip through the wall. I made that look a lot easier than it is. I'm surprised I got that first try. But yeah, this is the final boss. This is Pile of Books, and we have no reason why it's called Pile of Books. But it's called Pile of Books.
And it's actually just made out of a bunch of stuff from the level.
Yep. And has 2 phases, like any good final boss does. Okay. Phase 1 done. And with some good RNG, time will be coming up, so get ready. Good. We need a curved shot here. Nope. Okay. I'll go for it.
No grip shots.
Time.
Nice.
Yep, that's the one.
GG.
Thank you. What was my time?
Let's see, I have to catch the stream feed. Oh, 32:30.
Nice. Sub 33.
Nice.
I'm happy with that. Especially with all the mistakes
Very
that
nice.
happened. Like, I'm very happy with that. So yeah, that's Chameleon Twist. 100%.
Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having us.
Yes, thanks to Cyanide Gunner for Chameleon Twist, and thanks for Amahu Mahaba for joining in for co-commentary. Much appreciated to both of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do I have time to quickly show something off? It'll only take like a minute, tops.
Here, I'll make the executive decision. Tora can yell at me later, but yeah, go ahead. You're well below estimate, so.
Okay, so I'm going to reset my emulator real quick. I'm going to reset my N64 real quick. And we're going to make the chameleon disappear.
Oh, got a magic trick.
So, this is the training room. We don't say this normally in runs because it's just not necessary. But this might take a few attempts, but I should be fine. If you leave a training room as it's finishing, some interesting things happen. So, I'm just gonna finish this. I'm really glad I got time to show this off because this looks so stupid. It's so dumb. This game is held together by duct tape and willpower. Oh, I did the wrong thing. That's okay. It's okay. Mistakes. It's fine. Wasn't supposed to finish the room. It's fine. Trust me, this will not take long.
I actually don't think I've seen this.
Have you not seen this? This is a really dumb glitch. Kefka and I found this after finding stuff with bowling in the Japanese version. And okay, so last drop. I'm gonna go towards the door. And this might take a while. It shouldn't take too long though. Go like there. Gonna save state just to see that shot works out. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna switch it to picture cam. No. Come on. There we go. And
That's
the game bugs out.
Oh.
And then the chameleon disappears.
There we go.
And we've soft locked. We can actually exit, but we can't do anything else. So yeah, that's Chameleon Twist.
Fancy.
Yeah, it's a really fun speed run. Very simple to get into, but there is a lot of stuff to master. And
I highly
it
recommend
is
checking
really
it out if
awesome.
you haven't. Really fun game. But yeah, good luck to every other winner coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And yes,
Thank you so much.
fun marathon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you both oh so much. And up next on the Summer Dreamathon, we have Electric Man 17 running Toy Story 2, Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue, any percent
Oh.
on the PlayStation.
Fun game.
Mm-hmm. And with that, I am done for the night with my hosting responsibility, so thank you all so much for having me. It's been a blast, been a dream, one could say. Enjoy the rest of the marathon. We only have a few runs left, so stay tuned. I will stay in chat as long as I can before I pass out / have to go to sleep to work. So this is Adrian VG signing off.